microphone so loud. But why is the timer so high? Why do I have it set to 8 minutes? Why? Mute this guy. Shut up. Thank you. What are we doing? Started. Thank you. I'm not going to waste 8 minutes. Why? Why do I have it set so high? What happened? I already forgot everything. Why is it so high, actually? Anyway, the point is, here we are, and also, don't worry about it. I didn't have the, I didn't have the, I don't have the stuff open. I'm so weird this. Anyway, I also, yeah, I was late to my own stream, I guess. And not only late, like, oh yeah, maybe a little bit late, but more like I was actually late in terms of, oh yeah, I should have been here. I don't know. The moment in which I said, yeah, we are doing it. I I kinda I kinda forgot about it. I don't know. I guess I wouldn't say one day. Yeah, one day. Trust. One day. I don't know. I guess I have been. I have to be honest. I haven't been personally socializing that much, so I have to accept that an intense part of the lane lies on me. I should be like, oh yeah, people, let's organize. Let's can we please? Why is there hypocrisy? Anyway, sorry. We should organize another bar, but I am not doing it. I don't know. I haven't trying to stay alive. I guess that has been. I wouldn't say the biggest worry, but yeah, the thing that has been happening the most. Yeah. I guess so. I guess so. It's understandable. Anyways, the point is we are alive, so there will be a day in which we will get to do that more properly. I don't know. Also, to some degree, I guess it's more like I wouldn't say exactly looking for excuses and whatnot, but we are also in quite a busy time still. Or I'm not even personally going through like exams and whatnot. I don't think so, but I know that we do have a lot of younger people amongst us, so it's understandable that a portion of the Vtubers and whatnot are also busy with all of that. But anyways, the point is we have to trust that at some point it will come. Which I, not we, I. Somebody has to actually accept the responsibility. I have to organize it. I I haven't been doing that much. I don't know. I I don't really want to put any other excuse like, oh yeah, you know what? Because these multiple reasons, it just hasn't happened. Sorry, sorry for that. That's as much of an honest person as I can be. But at some point, it will come back. Trust the process, and then things will be better once again. Something along those lines. But we can still get drunk in our own or something like that. I don't know. I guess it's also like that reality of, we don't actually want to get drunk every single weekend or something like that, supposedly, so it's bad. Anyway, I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy even to think about it in that sense. VTubers, VTubers people. We are even if we are VTubers, it doesn't mean we are not people. I guess the point is, yeah, we to drink every weekend. I wouldn't say so. No, no, no. I guess it's something along the lines of, you know, we have that. Even if we don't drink and whatnot, it's just an issue, not an issue, a thing of organization and whatnot. Not an issue of organizing. It's just the nature of getting to sit down and say, yeah, you know what? Let's. I didn't drink. I drink 3 or 4 times a week. Yeah, yeah, it happens. That's why I say I don't think it's actually in itself that bad. Just once a weekend, it's not all that bad. Even more if it isn't something like passing out from being so drunk. So it's fine to some degree, but the issue is in itself is still we don't we don't do it. I guess that's where the actual issue lies. But it's fine. It happens. We will set up something. Trust me. I don't know. I I haven't had a fucking hell of time, anyways. I can say, oh yeah, let's try next week, but I don't know. Uh, I want to make any promise in terms of, oh yeah, I'm going to mentally stable or something like that next weekend. I guess something along those lines. It's like too much of a compromise right now. I guess I don't know. I don't even know what's. I I, I guess I have to figure that out once again by myself. But the point is, at some point, the bar is going to come back. We have to trust. We have to not trust, but rather what is the proper word? Just have patience. Yes, that will be the proper term. At some point, it's going to come back. And when it does, we're going to be happy. Yeah. Until then, I don't know. Wait for more news or something like that. Thank you. So many images to choose from. It's so incredibly hard to do that, anyways. What did I just choose? What is this image? What did I open? Transform. Reset transform. What is this? What? Wait, let me resize that. What? I I actually don't know what is this image. Let me test. Can somebody tell me where did I take this image from? I don't actually remember the context for this. Why do I have this image? Watch this. What is that? Where did that come from? Also, why do I not? Ah, okay, there it is. There we have the clock. Welcome, clock. And also, good evening to me. Or yeah, yeah, good evening. But yeah, I don't know where did I get that image from. Anyways, let me actually resize it to be properly tiny. Yeah. Wait, I was there. I was resizing the what the image, the spider. Is that a spider? I don't know what it is. Yeah, it is a spider. The silver spider. I actually don't know where I got that image from. How old is that file? Anyways, yeah, it was muted. Sorry, I was I was doing that. But now we don't have a huge spider on screen, so we are good. Actually, sorry. I don't know. I remember something. I heard somebody say, "Oh yeah, you sound like a fucking psychopath when you laugh." I was like, "Wow, what are you talking about?" Now nowadays we cannot even laugh at is everything is something to be shot for. It's so over, man. I hate this modern world that is so willing to criticize everything and make humans so miserable for being themselves. I know. Sorry, I I have actually I don't. It has been quite a long week. I haven't talked that much in way too long. So excuse me. It's complicated to go back into it. It's like yeah. Somehow I already slowly got accustomed to being here to some degree. So I found myself having quite a hard time out of nowhere when I couldn't stream. So the point is, it's incredibly nice to actually be back, even if it is just Saturday. So it means that tomorrow there is nothing else going on. Tomorrow is already a rest day. I hate that, but anyways, the point is we are so good actually. So at least we can enjoy today or something along those lines. And I don't know, way too many things have been happening. In a sense, out of nowhere, the life continues unraveling itself. I don't know. It's entertaining to be surrounded by things to do and by desires, not just desires, but goals to accomplish and such. It's interesting to always see that, but at the same time, it doesn't make in itself the act of existing any more bearable, so to speak. So the point is, yeah, um, here we get to be for just a little bit. So it's far more nicer after everything that has happened. It is always nice, but it gets to be even nicer due to the I guess distance and yeah. Sin was here. I do miss the bar. I do actually want to try and get a new bar soon, but at the same time, as always, I don't know. There is only so much to actually say about that in terms of, oh, wow, yeah, I want one, but at the same time, I do have to work to get one going, so, it's not so easy, always. And I don't know, it's kind of crazy to see that, you know, so many, you get to see so many people, and no matter what, I guess it gets quite complicated personally to see so many, not just the category of, oh yeah, Vtuber in itself. I understand that category, but beyond that, the category of the person who just decides to give up on what they liked or what they said they liked, let's say, is kind of crazy. I don't know. I wouldn't exactly say harsh, but it certainly generates a lot of sensations to see so many people abandoning the ship, so to speak, and whatnot. And that I don't try to say it of from the point of oh yeah, it's so sad, Umfi. No, it's more along the lines of it happens, yeah, and at the same time, because it happens, it's kind of crazy to also see. Wow, I actually in it's not like, okay, sorry, it's not not like there are people that don't like having around. Being an adult allows you to also choose who you surround yourself with. It's not that sort of complicated sensation. It's more along the lines of I do. I want to be honest and say that, yeah, I liked being around those people. So it's hard to see them go because suddenly, yeah, to some degree, what I was saying, they, I don't know, at least the way in which they make it sound feels like people far more than what they actually reveal just gives up on what they seem to have lacked at some point. And suddenly, in this case, I'm not trying to use it as an excuse, but it's just a sensation that I have personally. Not having the possibility of having the VAR has, I guess, a little bit, if nothing else, to do with that. Also, welcome, tired salaryman. I hope you're not tired. Ah, you look very moe. Yeah, I look very moe. I guess I am finally slowly mentally capable of using this model, something along those lines. It's not a model PNC. Uh, I have I say that I should have something along the lines of adding in one of the many sections of the about section. No, no, it's not a rebrand. It's just who was it? Maybe you have heard about this other Vtuber, Dempa Fish. I think she was live like, I don't know, an hour or 2 hours, and she did this one quite a long time ago actually, and I think I can use it finally. I feel capable of bearing this PNC. It's not a rebrand. Actually, I tried to say something along those lines. In the future, in the I don't know how to actually sit right with that term. I don't think it is in itself a rebrand. I assume so based on the bigger traditions and whatnot. Probably it is going to be classified as a rebrand, but so far this is still in essence a potato, so it's not much has changed. I guess we are still in essence the same in the future. Once I get more things, as in I don't know. Uh, Probably. I was trying to think about that. I hope to do that before summer here in Argentina ends. There will be a proper rebrand of sorts. I have to actually figure all of that out. But the point is, yeah, it's more. Thank you. Thank you for noticing. I do think it's also very cute. So I I cannot argue with that myself. I guess it is more. But anyway, don't worry. Also, yeah, what was I trying to say? The this idea of, you know, people comes and goes in life. It's the process of seeing human beings be, and they are living their own life while also being to some degree a part of yours and whatnot. And that doesn't make it any more easy to experience, I guess, something along those lines. Also, personally, I make it much more about not just people wanting to do stuff, but also the essence of, yeah, I want to do things that make me happy. So I assume that other people tries to do the same in many ways, and it's sad to see somebody give up on something that might have made them happy, and that's in essence one of the many ways in which I find the bar to be quite a lot more shocking than what I actually expected, because in itself it is still something incredibly lighthearted. It's literally just a group of category VTubers getting together to talk out stuff, be chill and such, but it doesn't make it any less crazy to see that, yeah, slowly over time we lose so many people because of that. I guess the realization that not all the not how to say it actually, life isn't as chill as we might think it is otherwise, but it's fine. The point is, it's fine. We are going to have that bar, I don't know, probably next week or the week after that. It's it's not about, I guess, unavoidably not about forgetting, but not about also every single instance, mourning everyone who doesn't get to be here, something along those lines. But I guess, yeah, that's also why we are particularly here, to get to have that more, I wouldn't say personal, but subjective point of view of, yeah, internally, that's what I experience. Unavoidably, yeah, it has to do with my personal perspective and whatnot, but it's something that otherwise I wouldn't say so much. Yeah, that aspect of, maybe, I don't know, I guess it's negative to say to some degree, yeah, you know what, I fucking miss people, and it's hard to say that around other people so much, or around somebody who feels so obliged to reply, let's say like that. That sensation of, yeah, I have to say something, I cannot just be here hearing, and that makes it quite a lot harder. I don't, I guess to some degree that makes a lot of the aspects of discussing anything minimally profound a lot more complicated in that sense. Because in some ways, I don't know, sadly, I have to accept at this point in life, I have slowly come to realize, yeah, sadly, I don't mingle in that many happy topics myself when it comes to anything minimally philosophical. So uh, it's it's understandable that when the conversation needs to happen, it becomes quite a bigger burden actually. Mostly also because, yeah, to some degree it's, I don't know, it's something along the lines of quite quite a, I guess, yeah, the proper category ends up being something painful to see somebody who might not be as willing to actually hear anything so, I wouldn't exactly say dark, but anything so pessimistic as what I tend to be in spaces like this one normally, and having somebody go through that unwillingly. So the point is, thank you. I guess patience with stuff. We are slowly getting better at talking about things, anyways. So it's all fine, and I don't know. Uh, Life keeps going, anyways. So I don't know. I was thinking, wow. I I was actually thinking, I don't understand why I say so much that thing of I was thinking, that was one of the many things that I was trying to think out lately. Um, it's an interesting feeler. I don't really know where it came from. I don't understand why I am so prone to using that. I guess everybody thinks out what they say. It's not like, oh wow, yeah, out. I had this thing forced onto me to be said. I literally never thought about what I am going to say. I I might not have spent all that much time thinking about some stuff, but yeah, everybody thinks out what they say. So I don't know. But that's sorry. That wasn't actually what I was thinking about. The point was, I was thinking lately, yeah, about this completely different thing. Um, it's interesting also to see something along the lines of how many ideas can we have. It's interesting to see how many things can actually be produced. I guess, yeah, I wasn't expecting to find out that I ended up actually being quite a, I would say, quite a lazy person, something along those lines, probably. But it's that aspect. Let me try to make it make more sense. I have been thinking for quite a while about some stuff that I have actually wanted to do that isn't just sitting here. Not because I don't enjoy sitting here. I think it's one of the most cathartic aspects of getting to have actually, yeah, found something along the lines of beat doing that allows all of this particular stuff to happen, you know? That in a way this is the most, I wouldn't say unarticulated, but rather unrestrained form of acting that we get to do and such. But besides that, to some degree, yeah, I never truly liked the idea of being a teacher. I don't know. There is this whole view of, oh yeah, yeah, you shouldn't be so self-defeating and whatnot. But to some degree, I guess there are way too many, and even more personally in things related to philosophy. Sadly, there are way too many complicated ideas, and people knows about them, and there could be way better teachers than me. That's why I don't personally find the idea attractive of being somebody who embodies that position more. But I guess, yeah, I am slowly coming in, yeah, to terms with the notion of maybe it's finally time to try and record something offline, I guess, something along those lines. For that whole idea of, yeah, also being more centered than what's not. I This gets to have that different structure of, wow, yeah, we get to sit here, and it's much more of a monologue than anything else. But I guess, let me say it from this perspective, I have come to finally understand a little bit more the whole artistic, in the real sense, artistic aspect of the com- communicative space in which we find ourselves being, not just Twitch, but rather media or content creation, I guess, something along those lines. And it's quite an interesting thing to try to actually do properly. You know, it's I wouldn't say that it's the highest priority, but it is certainly an interesting thing to try to do properly. And I had a end. That's where I was going with this when I started talking about it. I have been thinking about this stuff, and I think I have some things that I want to materialize into something, but I don't know. That whole thing of being a person who has way too many projects and doesn't actually finish any of them, I also have to keep on working on that, you know? It's the endless struggle of, oh wow, yeah, yeah. My attention span makes me, I don't know, use my energies in things that I do like, but it doesn't actually allow me to finish all the things that I start. So at some point I have also found out through this thing of having lived for so long, you know, not so long, having lived for long enough, yeah, this tendency of unavoidably I might have started way more things and never finished any of them than actually having started and fully seen through their very end stuff. And I think I have to work on that, yeah. But I don't know. It's still way too complicated. Having, in that sense, yeah, having ideas is quite a complicated thing, you know. Having, I would say, desires, dreams, I don't know. I have been still trying to keep on understanding, so to speak, from a not exactly a proper perspective, but a useful enough one. How to go about the concept of, yeah, I actually have also things that I do want to utilize my time on, and I also have things that I do believe I should be trying to do and whatnot, but there is some degree of, yeah, I can slowly, instead of those different desires of mine, insert those other discourses that come from the outside, as in, oh yeah, yeah, other people, let's say the easiest, I don't know, is it something complicated? I don't think it is all that complicated to get. It's just how somebody can say something about what I am trying to do, and I can, instead of actually keep on thinking about it from just my perspective of an interested person in the thing in which I have set my eyes on, I can slowly also integrate those other points of view of other people and make them speak for me, so to speak. So that, oh wow, yeah, yeah, you know what, I should give up on these things because they not I have actually come to understand it, but I heard that somebody said that it would have been a much better choice for me to give up on stuff of different sorts, and therefore I don't have any more to deal with the responsibility of actually choosing to continue with all of that stuff. And yeah, I don't know, it's quite crazy to see that to some degree that's such a recurrent theme throughout, I want to say, my life. I guess the honest statement I find it to be throughout the life of most of the people that I have gotten to know. Sadly, there is way too much of an interference in what we actually have an interest on, and what the outside, in that sense, a proper opposition of, oh yeah, me against the outside world. Too much of, oh yeah, yeah, others have told me that I should have given up on this thing, and me just accepting that instead of continuing to think about it myself. In way too many people, I have seen that happen, but I guess the only one that I can be certain of is, yeah, I can see it as a possible thing, let's say. Not as an actual thing that did happen, but as a possible event that could get to be. And I I'm trying to actually not let that happen, so that's also quite an interesting encounter, I guess, to have to see so many of those. That's what I was trying to say. So many of those external discussions and whatnot, those external ideas come into play and interfere with what I want. You know, this this otherness. I guess, yeah, it's what someone else gets to say about what I want that makes me sort of change my position, or that at the very least allows me to change the position which I possessed in reference to my own desires in ways in which might not completely end up satisfying me. So yeah, it's it's complicated, yes, but that's that's just a process of life. I'm just explaining something that I guess anybody has to deal with to some degree. All of us have those, I guess, much, yeah, modulating has a lot of, oh yeah, yeah, I do actually want this thing, no matter what my surroundings say about what I want. I don't know, I don't think it is all that crazy. Once again, we're in the medium of big doing. I don't think it's all of that. Yeah, it's all that unreasonable to hear that eternal idea of, yeah, you know what, I want to be a Vtuber myself. And from that on, or against that, you have the opposition of I don't know, the your figures of your parental figures, yeah, saying, no, yeah, yeah, you know what, you shouldn't be dedicating yourself to that. This is bad. This is useless. This is wrong. And having to actually demonstrate that you care and that you want to do something like that. Once again, that's the easy example. The same with, I don't know, a career choice and such. Many of those are always, once again, associated with slowly having to accept that, yeah, I do want something, and no matter what happens on the outside, I am willing enough to utilize my time on those things. And in my case, what I was trying to say, yeah, is I guess sadly happens way too much that I guess I get to see how many of those external ideas or antitheses to what I am proposing, so to speak, appear, and how easily I could be persuaded to just say, yeah, you know what, this person gave me such a reasonable explanation for this, it's time for me to fucking give up. Wow. And I don't know. I think it's quite crazy to see that happening. I, to some degree, it's quite amazing to see how much we are capable of actually not committing to what we like, and that's something that I still struggle with to once again. Mostly, personally, because yeah, I believe people I aims to be happy to some degree, even if in itself it isn't the final objective. Yeah, we all are trying in some way, shape or form to attain happiness, and it's quite crazy to see that we cannot be all that honest about these processes and such, and it's crazy that in the end, yeah, such a thing like abandoning what I actually said or what I actually thought before was interesting for me would come so easily once I hear something quote unquote convincing enough from the outside, you know? But I don't know. In the end, we all supposedly have something that we actually like, care about enough to, no matter what we hear from the outside, still commit ourselves to it. So it's just a matter of continuing to work towards that, no matter what easy way out we are offered from our surroundings, so to speak. I guess that's the idea, or that's the interest, desire, objective, something along those lines. Commitment? I don't know. Also, I was, I don't know, man. I said it before. It has been quite a crazy time since this week ended up being so incredibly short to some degree. I remember, I don't know, it's crazy to see that, yeah. It's bad to say argument in many ways still, but yeah, understand that I don't mean argument as in a completely nervous or violent discussion, just a conversation. Me proposing one thing and somebody else replying with an opposite idea. So I was having an argument with my family of, yeah, you know what, you shouldn't be drinking so much because it's actually bad. But I don't know. It ended up being quite crazy to see that I'm not somebody who consumes in that sense medication that much. So I didn't drink alcohol. Wow. But I ended up anyways having to consume so much prescribed medication that I ended up literally falling asleep just, or even worse than if I had literally just numbed myself with alcohol to avoid feeling any kind of negative sensation. And I don't know, it's quite crazy to see that. I guess in some ways I am still amazed by this world and how many things we end up normalizing. That's what I'm trying to say. I wouldn't have expected to see that it would have had such a strong effect. Mostly because, yeah, this whole discussion of, oh yeah, it's medicine, it's something that does good to you. I don't know, brother. I lost, at the very least, 2 entire days because of that. I was asleep for most of them. I don't know if I actually would have preferred. It's that whole idea of not exactly a regret, but maybe next time the decisions are quite different. I think, but that's that's how it tends to work. That's how we find ourselves operating most of the time. We we just see things that we have accepted or made look less intense from different perspectives. Well, in the end, it's, I don't know, very much the same, so to speak, in many ways. It's this idea of, I guess, the best example, even if it is still a little bit exaggerated, it's this concept. I don't think right now we possess enough elements to, without, so to speak, having to spend twice, thrice, 5 times as much to consume non animal foods. But it's understandable to hear somebody say, oh, yeah, yeah, I am a little bit vegan because I don't want to see an animal literally suffer because of me. I understand that perspective. It's a reasonable one, and sadly, uh, not having the economic power, I guess, is in that sense quite crazy to see. But we do what we can. We we struggle in the ways in which we are capable of to someday be capable of accomplishing the things that we want, no matter what happens nowadays. It's this idea of, yeah, maybe today I have to live with some contradictions still affecting my life, but maybe tomorrow I will be capable of getting rid of them. Or that symbolic tomorrow, as in the future at some point, I will be capable of doing that. That whole thing once again of being capable of recognizing which different sorts of limitations and annoying parts of life are present in the current times, and which of those we shall try to slowly get rid of so that at some point we stop experiencing such an annoyed existence. Not this idea of, oh wow, yeah, yeah, I want rem- remove things to attain happiness, but more along the lines of, you know what? I I don't know. I want to literally just have mental peace. I don't want to live with guilt, so to speak, you know? And that's I guess you could make it from the perspective of trying to remove things that cause displeasure instead of striving towards just happiness. That's where I'm trying to go with. Yeah, yeah. Striving towards slowly fixing things. And I guess I don't know. One of the many things that happened throughout this week was I I I went back. I I I certainly wasn't expecting all of that. I have been amazed by how much of a connection we have here in the south. Not just in Argentina. I'm pretty sure in most Latin American cultures there is such an intense connection with everything that has to do with nature and such. Or at the very least, as long as you don't live in a, is the category megalopolis the correct one? As long as you don't live in one of those incredibly highly populated places where you have to tightly live with other 20 people, having the pleasure to, yeah, possess, even if it is just one square foot or one square meter of land to plant your own stuff, that already is enough to tempt the people from here to, yeah, you know what, let's try to plant something. Let's try to have or what is it, or a tomato plant, or what what is the name of this plant? I actually don't know the names of those plants on English. Wow, I'm so old. I I I have learned other things out the language, but not the name of plants particularly. I think I will have to look them up. It's so, why do I have to bring it up without before knowing them? It's so. Let me. How do you say it? Let me search. Can you actually search? Why did it delete itself? Thank you. Also, I think the fun is getting through the fenugreek. How? What? You say it like that? Okay. Fenugreek. That's my most recent plant. Thank you. That's the first time in my whole life that I saw that thing. I think I haven't, at the very least, I don't have any recollection of ever having heard about that before. So yeah, uh, I'm in the process of planting a plant. Wow, it's quite interesting. I guess quite I wouldn't say reconforting. It's fucking stressful to actually have a plant. It's quite crazy actually, and also even more so because of all the, I wouldn't say technological, but I guess yeah, it does fall under the category of tech, technological, as in discoveries and knowledge and such. Techne, you know, that aspect of the technos world. We know way too many things about plants. It's not as easy to have a plant nowadays as before in terms of, oh yeah, I am just going to throw some seeds in the ground and let them grow. water them once or twice a day or once or twice a week, and that's it. And after that, I am going to harvest the fruits that those plants gave me after, I don't know, 1 or 2 months of them growing, you know. No, it's, oh yeah, yeah, I need to have the correct enough substrates on the ground, and I need to have them on the correct minerals, and I need to give them enough hydration so that the ground stays properly hydrated. And if it doesn't stay hydrated enough, the plants might slowly deteriorate, and I will find myself suffering because the current harvest will be swapped not for the next week, but rather for 5 months from now, because I failed and because all the previous knowledge that I have man, it's so, I don't know. I think that one of the many, I wouldn't say disciplines, but practices that has found itself negatively impacted by so many discoveries certainly is planting, gardening, the hobby of gardening, let's say. It cannot be anymore a hobby in terms of, oh yeah, you know what, I am just going for the fun of it to plant something, and when it is done, harvest that. At least not here. I guess, yeah, if you live in the middle of the mountain, unavoidably you can do whatever you want. But that's pretty much with almost everything, you know. If you live in the middle of the mountain, you can also probably, I don't know, do rocket science without any other authority getting or interfering with what you actually want to do and such. So it's understandable that in the end we end up having situations like this one. That sadly, yeah, you know what? It's necessary to pay so much more attention to what we are trying to do and what we are trying to accomplish and what not. But it's fine anyways. It's not like the experience of planting and taking care of a plant and such is not interesting. It's only that everything surrounding the experience itself has become quite more complex. But I guess, yeah, I would still recommend that. I don't know. I do assume it has quite a lot of reason behind the statement of every human being should actually do those three things of writing a book, planting a tree, and having a children. You know, it's it's the same with that, or it's one of those three basically. Yeah, I should actually try to have a plant, and I should actually try to grow something, and it's nice. It's, I guess, soul nurturing, something along those lines, to understand something that isn't just oneself. One of the many ways to connect with nature, I guess. I don't know, but that's what I was trying to say. There are always so many complicated things behind all of that. There are so many interesting phenomena happening around that thing of, oh yeah, yeah, we we are obliged to plant something here, you know. If we have some grass available, or some piece of land available, we should be planting something over there. We shouldn't let those pieces of land go to waste. It's quite a crazy mentality. Not to say that it is bad. You you don't understand the stuff like that. Once you slowly see that, yeah, maybe if I had planted something when I had the opportunity, I wouldn't be struggling so much nowadays, because you know what, I could have grown something that I would have given quite a lot of use. Not in terms of, oh yeah, I will eternally live with the regret of not having planted anything when I could have done that, but the realization of I can help myself by doing that. Therefore, if I have the opportunity, I shall not ignore it and do or act like it doesn't matter at all. If I can, I don't know, if I can plant some potatoes, if I can plant some onions, some anything, I shall do it. It's actually good, and even if it is hard, it's better to do that than to not do it. But it's crazy to see how much of a normal thing it is here. I I guess sadly, yeah, you don't see enough of those discussions elsewhere. Sadly, one of those many things that internet tends to be unavoidably quite an echo chamber for many of the things that we see and whatnot. But yeah, sadly, I don't see many of the prominent figures talking about all of that, you know? It's not something that is mainstream. That's what I'm trying to say. No matter what kind of excuse you want to give to the, oh yeah, yeah, you're only surrounding yourself with people of that sort. There are so many communities that are focused on being nature friendly and whatnot. Yeah, I understand it, but at the same time, I think it's crazy to see that so many people are famous and so few of them actually talk out of that. Also, it's I don't know. I think it's something that could even for a children be wonderful, you know, to have a tiny plant and take care of it and whatnot. I I like that experiment. Maybe, yeah. I might be biased, unavoidably, because I did go through that myself when I was a little kid and whatnot. But I do think that every single kid should go through the experience of getting some seeds, planting some stuff, and getting to see that thing grow onto something bigger. That whole concept of, oh yeah, my efforts, not only within myself, but also within the world that surrounds me, end up having an impact, are important to have. And more so because, yeah, I guess not so much class consciousness. What is nature consciousness? Sorry. Um, I guess, yeah, I'm getting absorbed by that whole discourse of naturalism and whatnot. Thank you. But, anyways, the point is, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to actually upload any picture. I don't like that idea. I still I still prefer that degree of I wouldn't say privacy. It's not about privacy. It's just about not making it such a big thing or such a show, so to speak. It's good to do that, but it's just as good as to take a shower. Do we actually need to tape ourselves taking showers so that other people understand those benefits? No. Yeah, you don't need so many visual cues with every single aspect of life, you know? With some of them, just by picturing them yourself, they work. So that's enough for me. And that's more than sufficient for my own happiness, for my own, yeah, for my own satisfaction. Thank you. But anyways, I guess that's how things work nowadays. Besides that, I don't know. Things, as always, so much stuff has been happening lately. I have been incredibly tempted. I think I did found one possible way to try and stream from my phone, but at the same time, I think it might certainly not work. Not in the way in which I want it to work. Because, uh, based on what I see, it doesn't seem to actually be so easy to just, let's say, capture a phone. It's not like a real console that you can just plug. Uh, it's it's not an USB, but it's a capture card. You know, you can't do that with a phone. So it needs to be with the phone microphone, and that's incredibly hard. So I don't know. I'm going to see. I'm going to figure out something. I think it's not that much of an unreal idea to say, yeah, if I do want to try it at least once, I might have to actually buy some very cheap headphones, but at the very least functional ones, so that we get to try that. It's nice. I think I have found games that are interesting there. I do. Anyways, I do think it is not completely, I wanna say honest. It's more along the lines of not completely real to say, yeah, you know what, it's as easy as just thinking about it and doing it. I think certainly to some degree, for example, we wouldn't be capable of having something like a model. I'm pretty sure streaming from a phone is quite a lot more basic than what I was expecting, or what anyone would imagine. You to some degree, um, smartphones technology is quite developed. You would have expected that it would have been much easier to set everything up and run with it so rapidly, but no, it doesn't seem to be the case. It actually is a little bit more complicated than that in terms of, oh yeah, no, it's pretty rough. It's pretty much more bare bones than what anyone would have predicted based on the developments of things as they are on PC, for example. But it's fun. As long as we get to do this anyways, it works, and I cannot actually complain, so it's it's all good, I guess. It's just a matter of, once again, patience and trial and error. I don't know. It's it's about doing it, thinking about doing it. Ah, but anyways, that's that's that. I don't know. I I guess so many things are happening. I guess also, yeah. I tried to not exactly say something about it. I said something that was minimally related to this. I think we are kinda close to me having to actually take a real break for exams week. I wasn't expecting it, but I think I will end up having to go to like 4 or 5 exams. It's going to be quite crazy this year too. Last year I actually ended up um doing like 5 subjects, so this year I will be another 5. It's fine, but in the end it's crazy to see that, yeah, they do require a little bit of not just preparation. It's quite a process actually of going through them, doing them once, seeing how things work, particularly with all of that. It's, yeah, the word is particularly bureaucracy and whatnot. It's way more bureaucratic than what somebody who has never in the flesh gone through the whole process of getting a degree think about. It's sadly way more repetition and then getting through the stuff just because you understand how the system works and not much else. But it's fun. It's for the sake of getting something out of that. So even if it doesn't feel completely right in terms of personal satisfaction, what matters is getting the thing in itself and not, oh wow, yeah, if the process is all that good or not. It's fucking free, so what else can I actually complain about inside of that? It doesn't matter. It's in itself, it's already good enough just because of that. So it's it's about doing it, not about criticizing it and, and abandoning it, I guess. Ah, but yeah, that's that's what I was trying to say. That basically, I when is September is next month, I guess. No, 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 no. September already passed. So next month is November. So in November, I should supposedly have some exams. And if it isn't in just November, also, I know that in December we have some exams, and that's going to be quite crazy, I guess. But, anyways, I will figure something out and I will see how that goes when it comes. That whole idea of we're going to cross that bridge once we have it in front of us, actually. But yeah, being a living being is quite a crazy thing, I guess. And yeah, I don't know. Tomorrow, this is to say this. I don't know. I don't want to actually say it in a sense in which I can actually get a proper punishment, but we can also play a very interesting game. Tomorrow, I should. I remember I tried to talk about it before. I said I linked that somewhere. There is a I created and I said I'm going to record myself reading stuff. One because I want to read stuff, and I know that I need to have an excuse like that one. And two, because sadly there are so many things that are written out there that have no voiceover over them that is done by a human. There are way too many things that are literally read by AI. That doesn't work, brother. I am talking about a human being putting emotion behind the words. So yeah, and there are some works like that out there that I want to go through. And the issue is I haven't done that yet. And I don't know. I don't want to say let's play a game tomorrow, Sunday. The in that channel I should try to upload something, and if I don't, I don't know. It's like incredibly risky. I don't trust myself in that sense. I know I want to do it, but I don't actually sit down and do it. It's that whole I don't know. I guess it's that whole concept of availability and whatnot, because so many things are so in just one or two clicks away from being done and such. We don't actually ever do them because they can always be left for tomorrow. It is something along the lines of procrastination and whatnot. That same thing with, yeah, there are so many books that could at any moment be read and whatnot that it doesn't need to actually be done. So it's just a matter of, yeah, um, maybe tomorrow, maybe, or in the sense of maybe in the future, not right now. Not there is no need to actually worry so much about them right now, but the point is to do them. And I guess tomorrow, I don't know. It's a risky game, but at the same time, it's better to make it, I guess, official. Otherwise, I can see myself not doing them if I don't say anything like that. Uh, if I don't upload something tomorrow, I can take some kind of bet. I wouldn't say bet. What's the word there? Something along those lines. I will be quite willing to do something like that, and I will probably I need to figure out what to do as a consequence for me failing, but I I would rather not fail. So yeah, the point is tomorrow I will actually start to record reading like that. As also it sort of connects with what I said before. One of the many things that needs to be recorded offline out of here. Mostly also because yeah, some of those texts are things that I haven't actually at all explored here. And I don't know. I, for example, one of the books that I wanted to read is from Emil Cioran. I don't think that guy is all that good to actually read in a sense of there are way too cynic people to read. It's like I don't know, reading somebody who I think is way too pessimistic. I wouldn't say it's trying to make the reader actually want to kill themselves, but it's that line of yeah. This guy presents way too many negative arguments, and I don't think it's all that good to hear about them if you're not willing to do so. And it's quite a risky author in that sense, and I prefer to separate that into that other channel and whatnot instead of doing it here. I think I can at the best mention him here right now, but I don't want to go through his texts in in a stream, so to speak. It's one of those dangerous authors, I think so. Not because, yeah, once again, not because he's actually somebody who says something in itself, but it's one of those, let's say, interesting philosophers to read. But it's something that has to be done out of will, not because we find ourselves forced to do so and whatnot. So yeah, Sioran. Tomorrow, me, Sioran, record something, and yeah, thank you. That's my promise, I guess. I don't know. And yeah, unavoidably, no stream, but at least there will be that. Besides that, I don't know. Let me drink what? Let me do that. I I haven't. Okay, I have something. Yeah. I think I have personally. I have once again found myself slipping more into those habits of tending to not feel. I wouldn't say satisfied. It's more along the lines of actually fulfilled by the days that I experience and by by the stuff that I go through throughout the rest of the day, I guess, because I have found myself more and more lately doing that whole stuff of yeah, you know what? Let's try to regain some of that unwisely spent time during the day in the concept is it happens while you are in bed, while you are in that stage in which otherwise you know that you should be sleeping. And I guess it's quite hard to actually come to terms with all of that. I guess it has to do once again with something along the lines of inner peace and whatnot, accepting that yeah, today is over. I actually should be resting and whatnot, but I don't know. It's no matter what you hear out there in terms of yeah, the human requires 8 hours of sleep and whatnot to function properly. It's quite crazy still to see once again what I was saying before, how many justifiers were given from the rest of the world to not follow that advice at all. The idea that oh yeah, you know what, you can function with 7 or with 6 or with 5 hours of sleep. You can allow yourself to not rest if you're going to be doing something that is productive and you should be actually following something that is going to be maybe counterproductive for your own health in the long run because you are trying to aspire towards something good and whatnot. And that is, I guess, something that makes it look like in itself trying to take care of oneself too much of a selfish action when you could instead be aspiring towards something even bigger by following your dreams and whatnot. Even if it is on a whatever, I don't know, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and you are already sort of failing in anything that you try to do because you're half asleep. Things like that have been, I wouldn't say issues in terms of, oh, yeah, yeah, it actually has been killing me slowly. Luckily enough, I had the pleasure of dealing with that issue when it was an issue before, but it's crazy to see that it always lurks over there. I guess in that sense, yeah, it's one of those problems that is first and foremost cultural, sadly. And I don't know way too many people that act in that same way of, yeah, you know what, like today I will grind myself away at this thing. And even if I just sleep 3 hours, I will do it. Because it's better than to just focus on resting. But it's it's that ever present shadow in the corner of one's vision that in this case I identify continues lurking there, and yeah, I'm trying to keep keeping keep having that at bay. That's the proper expression, I guess. But yeah, basically, the point is to some degree that was a metaphor, I guess, for me to say, yeah. And with that, it means that I should actually be going to sleep. And unavoidably, just as always, I was quite late here. I I don't know exactly why I have gotten so careless. It's something along the lines of, yeah, I have started to occupy myself way too much with absorbing knowledge once again lately, so it keeps me quite busy or quite away from other things which require a lot more active engagement, like this one. I should work on that, but anyways, the point is, even if it was, I wouldn't say short. It's one of those days in which, I don't know, an hour, but in itself, so much stuff was said. It can count as an entire day, anyways. So it works. Thank you. But yeah, the point is, we are done today. Here, thank you very much. So yeah, I don't know. Thanks for the patience, as always. Thanks for the interest, for the time, for everything. And yeah, have a nice day. Have a nice night. Have a nice evening. But yeah, um, take care, I guess. Take care. Drink. Rest. Be responsible. Be happy. And I don't know. Um, do things. Also, I'm literally saying goodbye, but I remembered something. Once I spent an entire stream talking about the smiling. I heard something that revolutionized the way in which I tried to think about that. Even blind people smiles instinctively, as in even blind children smile. So I guess certainly a smile, because it does affect your brain in incredibly positive ways. Even if right now we don't have all the science in the world to pinpoint at why it is so important. So yeah, smile. Even if that whole concept of even if you're not feeling good, just the act of smiling generates some sort of, what is it, pheromone discharge or something like that, so that you slowly feel better as you sustain that, even if it is a fake smile nonetheless. So yeah, do that. Thank you. But yeah, no, sorry. Good night. And yeah, as always, even if we don't get to see ourselves, it was still a wonderful time. So thanks for editing. Also, yeah, I forgot I didn't have my mouse plugged. I'm so good at this.